I was about to finally wash off the ugly makeup and show my true self. It was my 20th birthday, but a loud knock ruined the peace. Melody, the maid, stood outside with her usual sneer. "Alana, what are you sneaking around in here for? Miss Jones's wedding day is here. Go to the front hall, now." I smirked deraously. For 15 years since my mother's death, I had been pushed into that back room. My stepmother, Kiara, my father, Darren, and Kiera's daughter, Paige, they had taken over everything. The worst part? Not even my father treated me the way I deserved. The Jones family's residence looked like a palace, dressed in over-the-top luxury for Paige's big day. Everyone wore elegant outfits, except me. I stood out like a sore thumb in my cheap white t-shirt, ripped jeans, and hideous makeup. "Alana, I got you a beautiful new dress. Why didn't you wear it?" I didn't bother replying. Instead, I turned to Mr. Reuben Evans and gave a polite nod. "Hello, Mr. Evans." My eyes naturally drifted to the man beside Reuben, tall, sharp, and ridiculously handsome. This had to be Cole Evans, the mysterious heir. Look at Alana. Ugly as hell, yet she dares to drool over Mr. Evans. What a joke. It's fine. Cole's amazing. It's only natural that other women like him.
What a disgrace! Get out of here!
I dragged over a chair and dropped into it casually, right across from Cole. Cole didn't flinch. His face stayed blank, cold as stone.
Let's check if we missed any documents.
A moment later, one of them froze.
Mr. Evans, the system says you're already married. Your wife is listed as Mrs. Alana Marsh.
My eyes went wide. Shock hit me like a slap. I was married? To Cole Evans? But I had no idea how. How can this even be happening?
This can't be right. There's got to be an error.
The Jones family had thrived off my mother Rita's brilliance, her medical genius, and those rare formulas. But after my mother's passing, the legacy began to wither. They needed this marriage to work. This doesn't make any sense. There has to be a mistake here. The crowd surged towards the laptop. Sure enough, the system showed Cole and me listed as husband and wife. The date went back 2 years, in another nation, Podgen, when I was 18. Darren and Kiara stood frozen. Paige's polished mask cracked right then and there.
Care to explain, Cole?
I'm just as confused as you are.
Cole's head slowly turned toward me, his stare sharp enough to cut glass. I gave a slow blink, shrugged innocently. Beats me. I don't know either. No one had any real reason to doubt me. I'd grown up invisible, tucked away in the back corner, stuck in a storeroom no bigger than a closet. Sort out the truth later. For now, divorce immediately and get Cole married to Paige today.
Right. Getting Cole and Paige married takes priority.
I'm afraid Cole can't marry Paige. The Evans family has strict traditions. A man can only remarry if his wife has passed away. The one walking down the aisle today has to be Eliana.
You can't be serious! Everyone in Ubleto knows I'm the one meant to marry into the Evans family! Watching Kiara's and Paige's meltdown was priceless. I could barely hide my amusement. With a sugar-sweet smile, I looked up at Cole. Darling, sorry about all this drama. You bitch! He's mine! How dare you call him that? Quick on my feet, I ducked behind Cole and clutched his shoulders like a shield. Take a breath, Paige. Where are those polished manners you take pride in?
As an Evans, I'm expected to uphold my family's traditions. I won't be the one to tear them down.
Both Kiara and Paige paled, as if the floor had dropped beneath them. And with that, the switch in brides was sealed for good. I stepped forward without hesitation, slipping into the gown that had been meant for Paige. Nothing about Cole's wedding was subtle. A $100 million gown, laced with diamonds and pearls, was the crown jewel of the ceremony. Paige had fantasized about walking down the aisle in it for as long as she could remember. Kiara and Darren had put together $500 million as a wedding gift, aiming to marry Paige off in a grand spectacle. But in the end, every bit of it went to me. I could barely hold back my laughter, but with Cole standing right next to me, I bit it back and kept my expression neutral. A swarm of reporters buzzed outside the mansion. Instead of feeding the frenzy, Cole avoided the car altogether and flew off with me in a private helicopter. Tears streamed down Paige's face as the helicopter disappeared into the clouds. I kept my head down during the entire ceremony. Once we stepped into the bedroom, I sank onto the edge of the bed and stayed silent. Across the room, Cole slipped off his jacket and dropped onto the couch. His eyes locked on me, intense, clinical. Underneath all that heavy makeup, I wasn't just attractive. I was striking, but he couldn't see that, yet.
You had no trouble talking earlier. Why so quiet now?
I stiffened, a chill rushing up my spine. It's not like I planned to marry up. A dry chuckle slipped past Cole's lips. He wasn't buying it for a second. Without warning, he rose and crossed the room. Spun silk. For 15 years, I'd sold the lie. Sickly, fragile, a girl with damaged hair and an unattractive face. And now, thanks to Cole, all of it unraveled in seconds. Cole studied me like a puzzle piece he hadn't expected. Something in his gaze shifted. Deep. Unreadable. His fingers had brushed across my cheek, wiping away a smear of foundation. What peeked through wasn't mangled flesh. It was skin like porcelain. I wasn't just attractive, I was striking. Without the camouflage, my beauty could have easily lit up a room.
Could you explain what you were trying to do?
I didn't want to give you a lousy experience.
No worries. Your face might be a mess, but that body's something else. I'll just switch off the lights and take my time enjoying it.
I figured he was joking, until the room went pitch black. He'd actually meant his words. This bastard really has no shame. I bolted for the balcony, but the heavy layers of my
Know how to make some noise in the bedroom.
Flushed and fuming, I swung for him again. Cole, sensing I'd had enough, lifted his hands in surrender and stepped away. After his shower, Cole slipped into clean pajamas and made himself comfortable, stretched out like he owned the bed. The knot on his pajama top hung loose, exposing just enough of his defined chest to make it feel intentional. For a moment, I was at a loss for words. When we'd first crossed paths, I'd pegged Cole as distant and above it all. But tonight, he was anything but reserved.
Honey, come to bed.
I blinked, stunned. Was he actually serious about sharing the bed? Well, what do you say we talk for a bit instead?
What exactly do you want to discuss? The way you tricked everyone in the Jones family?
Or maybe how you mentally braced yourself for marrying someone you can't even stand. Cole's eyes narrowed. Did I really catch on to how much he hated Paige? How about a deal? I'll keep your annoying admirers away from you, and in return, you don't mess with my life. Once we straighten out how we tied the knot, I'm gone. Fair enough? Instead of answering, Cole collapsed onto the bed, shut his eyes like I didn't exist, and flicked the lights off. Biting back a curse, I trud toward the sofa, bumping my shin on the edge in the dark. Hours passed in silence. I drifted into a deep sleep. Sometime in the middle of the night, Cole opened his eyes and slipped out of bed. Guided by the dim moonlight, he crossed the room and stopped in front of me, just watching. The air carried a hint of my scent, clean and natural, untouched by perfume. His hand hovered, inches from my cheek, the urge to wipe away the thick makeup growing stronger. But just as he moved in, I shifted slightly. Startled, he backed away. The next morning, I turned over on the plush mattress and woke up feeling unexpectedly well-rested. When I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was Cole, already dressed, perched at the edge of bed, watching me like I've some kind of mystery. Last I checked, I'd passed out on the couch, so why was I waking up in bed?
Honey, you climbed into bed yourself.
I narrowed my eyes, not buying a single word of it.
Actually, you didn't stop there. You stripped me down, cuddled up to me, had your hand on my chest, and whispered sweet nothings like darling.
Shut your mouth!
I took some videos. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and watch for yourself.
Drinking usually came with the side effect of sleepwalk. Even so, at yesterday's wedding banquet, I still had a small glass of wine. Just one glass, but it was enough to make me drunk. Trying to explain that Darling was once the name of my childhood cat wouldn't help. He'd just laugh even harder.
You're not done yet.
In a blur of panic, I darted into the bathroom. I slammed the door, threw the lock, and tugged at my hair like I could wring the embarrassment out. A knock rattled the door. Cole's voice drifted in.
Honey, time's ticking. The elders are waiting to greet us. Better get moving.
The wealthy Evans family had upheld its numerous traditions for generations. One of the most important came the morning after the wedding. What do I wear?
I've got you covered.
I snatched the bag, shut the door, and got to work. Shower, outfit change, a fresh layer of makeup to seal the deal. Cole had made a move on me last night. Maybe my makeup hadn't been terrible enough, so today, I dialed it up even more. Once I was finally dressed, I cracked the door open. Where's my wig? Cole gave my face one look and nearly lost his composure. Without a word, he pointed to the trash can.
Try not to give my grandpa a heart attack. Maybe ease up on the haunted doll look.
Before I could throw a word back, Cole grabbed my hand and led me straight out the door. The hall downstairs stood prim and polished. At the head of the long room, Reuben occupied the central seat. The moment Cole and I stepped in, hands clasped together like we had something to prove, the entire room stiffened. Thanks to the eavesdropper from last night, Reuben already knew our room hadn't exactly been quiet. They were expecting to see me limping in, bruised and humiliated. Instead, they got a picture of a peaceful couple, either oblivious or uncaring. Cole moved forward without hesitation, gently guiding me by the hand as we began greeting the elders. Every seat around the oversized table was filled. As I glanced from face to face, the stares felt sharp, full of judgment or thinly veiled ridicule. Not a drop of warmth in sight. Not that it fazed me. I sat straight, untouched by their stares. Alana, do you realize the entire city is practically counting down the days until Cole ends up a widower? Alana, do you realize the entire city is practically counting down the days until Cole ends up a widower? I had spent the day before doing my homework on the Evans clan. Irene wielded considerable influence. Even in her 40s, Irene looked flawless. Her cold, sculpted features hinted at a woman who calculated every move. Actually, I haven't really kept up with the news. Let me get straight to the point. Cole was supposed to marry Paige. You were a last-minute replacement, and that caused a storm online. Since you're now officially Cole's wife, it falls on you to protect the Evans family's reputation.
What makes her qualified to be the matriarch? All she knows is how to lounge around and be useless.
The speaker, Jeff Evans, Irene's young son, might have only been 8, but he already acted like the world owed him something. Spoiled to the bone, he strutted around like a pint-sized dictator. Jeff, that's not how we speak to family. Alana is Cole's wife, and she deserves our respect. That was Trinity, the girl the Evans family had taken in as their own. Please don't take it personally, Alana. Jeff is just a kid. At first glance, it seemed like she had come to my defense. But the real move? She had cornered me. Any reaction now would make me look small. I had learned how to catch the smallest signs of a hidden motive. Trinity had her sights set on Cole.
That woman is not good enough to deserve my respect anyway.
Up until now, Cole had remained silent. At Jeff's words, his stare turned sharp.
If my wife doesn't deserve your respect, then maybe I don't either. Is that what you meant?
His words weren't shouted, and his tone stayed calm, but the pressure behind them hit hard. Jeff's confidence cracked instantly.
It's my job to guide Alana. All you need to do is take care of the transition.
He didn't say the words outright, but the meaning was crystal clear. Stay out of it. Nobody in that room thought Cole would stand up for me, especially not with that kind of force. After watching Cole silence the entire table, I finally broke my silence. Irene has a point. As the family's matriarch, I should take charge. I'll handle the online mess myself. Irene smirked derisively, while others exchanged scornful looks. They were just waiting for me to fail. But Cole? He looked genuinely curious. Something in his eyes said he was waiting to see what I would do next. Just then, Reuben broke his silence.
Alana, there's something crucial I'm entrusting to you. You can't afford to fail. Understand?
The second Reuben brought up my name, the energy in the room shifted. I straightened in my seat, my composure calm and deferential.
You were pulled into this marriage against your will. The public scandal isn't something you caused. You don't need to carry that burden. Still, Irene did have a point. The matriarch should have both integrity and ability. Because of that gap in your education, I'm giving you 1 year to catch up. You'll need to take the SATs and earn a place at a university.
The silence that followed was sharp. Eyes flicked across the table, unreadable. How could someone with only a primary education pull off SATs in 12 months? Alana, if you ever hit a wall with your studies, I'd be happy to help. I won't be needing that. Reuben, I may not have attended school recently, but I've been studying on my own. I want to sit for this year's SATs. The room froze. All eyes snapped to me, stunned. With barely a week left before the SATs, was I actually serious? You heard correctly. Reuben studied me carefully, then gave a slow nod and turned to Cole.
Have her registered to take the SATs at Kent High School.
Understood.
Once the meal ended, Reuben looked over at me with a gentler tone.
Do you have a study plan? I could set up a tutor.
I'll take care of the studying myself, but today, I want to visit my family.
Considering all that happened yesterday, it's probably best you go back and smooth things over. Take Cole with you.
Ruben didn't give me time to respond. He called Cole over immediately.
Put together something thoughtful for the Jones family. Make it generous.
I parted my lips to object, but before I could get a word out, Cole had already reached for my hand.
Come on, let's go.
With no better option, I bid Ruben farewell and followed Cole out the door. I slipped my hand from his. You don't need to babysit me. I can grab a cab and go on my own.
The agreement. Remember, we've got to keep up the act.
He didn't wait for a reply, just opened the door and motioned for me to get in. Though his tone rubbed me the wrong way, I let it slide. He had agreed to my conditions, and for now, we seemed to be finding a rhythm. Soon, the vehicle eased away from the gates of the Evans estate. Inside the quiet car, the faint scent of Cole's cologne lingered between us. It wrapped around me like a memory, one that brought the entire mortifying blur of last night rushing back. Wanting to escape the awkwardness, I closed my eyes and faked sleep. But the hum of the engine and the warmth of the seat lulled me. Before long, sleep began to tug at me for real.
What's running through your mind? You're blushing so much.
Cole's words snapped my eyes open, dragging me back to reality. Only then did I notice we weren't moving anymore. The car had stopped. I found myself leaning against him, his hand steady at my waist.
Honey, you just begged me for hugs, kisses, and to be lifted into the air like a princess. Want me to...
Crap again.
Wasn't it your request? I figured you had some big reason, so I played along.
I followed his gaze and realized we were already parked outside the Jones family estate. Without a word, Cole handed me his phone. The video showed Cole focused on driving while I dozed against the car window. Then, out of nowhere, I mumbled, "Come here, darling. Give me a kiss and a hug." I stared at the screen, stunned into silence. I wanted to explain I was dreaming of my cat, not Cole, but there was no way he'd believe me. I shoved the phone back at him and climbed out of the car.
Call me if you need me. I'll swing by to pick you up later.
With that, he sped down the road. I headed toward the Jones family house. Upstairs, Paige had been glued to the window, watching the whole scene. She'd stayed up all night, hoping for the news that I had been murdered and Cole had become single again. But instead of a scandal, she saw Cole personally dropping me off, the two of us looking way too chummy. As Cole's car vanished, Paige's eyes filled with tears, her nails digging into her palm. Paige stormed off in search of Kiara. As she stomped into the living room, I stepped through the front door.
Alana, you two-faced snake! What sick game did you play to hook Cole?
Paige, you must have forgotten. I didn't lift a finger, and Cole became my husband. Believe me, I'd love to pull a few tricks, but I just didn't get the chance. And with that, I breezed past Paige and started up the stairs. Oh, and just so you know, Cole and I slept together last night. What can I say? That body, that strength, those skills. Paige, it's a shame you'll never get to experience that. I disappeared around the corner, leaving Paige seething behind me. Upstairs, I could still hear unhinged scream echoing. Smiling, I stepped into the room where my mother's belongings were kept. But the sight before me made my heart sink. My mother, Rita, had been a medical prodigy. Even when she discovered Darren had an affair and an illegitimate daughter, she chose to pour herself into research. Then one night, a fire had torn through the Jones family home. She dragged me to safety, whispered a few final words, and ran back into the flames, never to return. The world had written her off as dead, but I didn't buy it. I knew, deep in my soul, she was still out there somewhere. I was determined to find her, and I'd uncover the truth behind that fire, no matter how long it took. Rita's keepsakes were few, a photograph and a few treasured items. I gathered them with care. Nothing was getting left behind. Meanwhile, downstairs, Paige had found Kiara and burst into tears.
Mom, what do I do now?
Be patient. Once we capture those compromising photos of Alana and spread them online, let's see how long the Evans family holds on to those absurd traditions.
What are you planning?
We'll do this. Kiara leaned in and whispered something into Paige's ear. Paige's eyes lit up.
Mom, get more guys involved. I want Alana ruined! Utterly gangbanged.
Just then, I walked back down the stairs. Kiara was quick to paste on a warm, sugary smile. Alana, darling, I reserved a private room at Royal Club. Let's have a family dinner to celebrate your recent marriage. Sounds wonderful. I smiled sweetly, seemingly unaware of the trap being laid. In a tucked-away private room of the Royal Club, Cole lounged on the sofa. Across from him, his three friends, Alan, Merlin, and Manly, gawped at him.
Cole, you've been sitting there, not eating, not drinking. Don't tell me that Ilana has you in a depressive slump. Cole, if you're really feeling that down, we'll drink with you until you forget your own name.
Cole glanced at them, his look asking why they thought he was down.
Is Alana really that naive? Kiara and Paige were out for her blood yesterday, and now she followed them here? What a dope. Cole, like it or not, she's your wife now. I'm gonna grab her and bring her over.
Sit down and mind your own business.
Cole's not that guy. If he's staying out of it, he's got a plan. Let's just kick back and see what happens. Fine, I'll check the cameras.
I trailed the Jones family into a private room.
Alana, order whatever you want tonight. It's on me.
I found it laughably ironic. For 15 years, Darren hadn't given me the time of day. Now, out of the blue, he was playing Dotting Dad. Alana, have some coffee. I gave a faint smile. Kiara wanted me 6 feet under, yet here she was, playing sweet stepmom. Thanks. You should have some too. Oh, absolutely. This coffee's pretty good. Ilana, go on, drink yours. I smiled and knocked back the coffee in one fluid gulp. Over in the other room, Manly was glued to the surveillance feed. He bolstered upright.
Yo, did you see that? Alana swapped the coffee cups. Slick move. Cole, your plain Jane might have some brains after all.
Just then, on the feed, I pressed a hand to my forehead. Feeling woozy. I didn't even finish before face planting onto the table. Kiara and Paige both smirked, smug as cats with cream.
What'd you give her?
I spiked her coffee. We're about to send her upstairs with a few guys, snap some juicy photos, and splash them all over the internet.
All right. Do it neatly, no loose ends. She's still Mrs. Evans after all.
Don't worry, I've got this handled. Playing the part of a sleeping doll. Only after the soft click of the closing door did I let my eyes flutter open. Whatever lingering hope I'd held onto for Darlin had just been snuffed out. I was done calling him father. The door creaked open again. A group of lecherous men stepped in.
This gig's a joke. We're supposed to screw her and snap pictures? That's trauma I'm not getting paid enough for.
Shut up. The Jones family's paying 3 times the usual. Suck it up and think of the cash.
She's got a decent body at least. Just close your eyes and pretend it's someone else. So this is your plan? Let your wife get dragged through hell just to cut her loose?
Heads whipped toward the screen. In a blur of strikes and counterattacks, I floored every man in the room. My movements were sharp, fluid, lethal.
What the hell? I thought she was some fragile little flower.
With the last leverous man unconscious on the floor, I tilted my head toward the surveillance camera. A flicker of realization crossed my face. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and started typing fast. Within seconds, the screen in their room went pitch black.
No way! The whole footage has been wiped!
Without a word, Cole rose to his feet and strode out. I slipped my phone back into my pocket and moved toward the door. I paused to check the peephole. Sure enough, the hallway was crawling with Kiara's guards. They weren't just loitering, they were stationed. I didn't waste a second. I hurried back to the bathroom, pushed the window open, and climbed out without hesitation. Right as I was about to leap down, I went rigid. Standing in the hallway, tall as ever and twice as fury, was Cole. "Why are you here?" Cole didn't bother answering. With a storm browing behind his eyes, he marched forward, grabbed me by the waist, and plucked me off the windowsill like I weighed nothing. I barely had time to catch my breath before he spun me around and prised my wrist to the wall. "What are you doing?"
17th floor. Climbing walls like it's some action film. Have you lost your mind?
Whatever I do is my own business. You don't get to interfere. We agreed. Your life, my life, separate. I could sense the tension rolling off Cole, his fury almost crackling in the space between us. Before the sentence even...
Hold on, are my eyes messing with me, or is Cole actually kissing that plain Jane? Yeah. I didn't see this coming either.
The kiss wasn't soft or tentative. Cole had deepened it before I could react. Heat surged through me like a shockwave, scattering thought and instinct alike. It was unfamiliar, intoxicating. You're way out of line. Who told you kissing me was okay?
Now tell me, honey, do I have the right to get involved in your business?
Back off. You're one step away from pushing me too far.
Oh? What's your next move then? Planning to knock me out like you did those losers in the other room?
If you want to find out firsthand, I'd be more than willing to demonstrate. No sooner had the words left my lips than I sprang into motion. Right before things could escalate, Manly darted between us, waving his arms like a referee.
All right, time out. You're newlyweds, not cage fighters. Let's go cool off with a drink, yeah?
Reluctantly, we all headed back to the private room, the tension still crackling in the air. After witnessing everything just now, Manly didn't dare say another bad word about me. As soon as we sat down, Manly jumped to pour me a drink.
Here you go. Something to take the edge off.
I don't drink. Without a word, Cole reached for the juice, filled a glass, and slid it over to me. I accepted it calmly and took a slow sip. The men across from us froze, speechless. Cole, Mr. Untouchable himself, had just served someone a drink, willingly.
So, Alana, rumor has it you've been stuck in the back room for years. Where'd you learn to fight like that?
Self-taught? Without a word, Merlin tilted back his glass and emptied it in a single swallow. The next moment, he snapped his wrist and the wine glass flew through the air, aimed directly at my face. But inches from my skin, a hand cut through the air and caught the glass mid-flight. Cole had moved first. Always did.
What the hell was that? Take it easy. Ms. Marsh fights like someone who's seen combat. I wanted to test the truth. You really expect me to buy that garbage?
Cole, she's dangerous. My instincts don't lie. That marriage of yours was suspicious from day one. And let's not overlook what happened to your father.
After Merlin's words, Cole's temper cooled a bit, but he didn't take Merlin's advice. His voice stayed steady, unyielding.
That's the last time.
With that, Cole grabbed my hand and strode off.
Cole's always marched to his own beat. He'll sort it out his way. I don't know, guys. I'm kind of digging this. Haven't you noticed? Cole's finally got some spark back. I'm dying to figure out her deal.
Outside the room, I yanked my hand free. Enough. We need to talk. What was that kiss about?
You can climb into my bed and snuggle up, but I can't steal a kiss? That kiss was just you paying me back.
Your friend's right. You should steer clear of me. It's safe for both of us.
In my world, you could be the most dangerous woman on the planet and do whatever you damn well please.
Before I could blink, Cole grabbed my hand again and started walking, tugging me along. Where are we going now?
Home.
Can't. I've got things to handle.
Like what?
Cleaning up your family's PR mess. Hello? I've got a tip you're gonna want to hear. Back in a private room, Paige and Kiarna were getting antsy. They'd been waiting forever for those scandalous photos of me to drop, but nothing came through.
Mom, what's the holdup?
I'm going upstairs to see what's taking so damn long. Saying this, Kiara left the room. As she moved, something felt off. A wave of heat hit her, her skin prickling like it was on fire. The club was dark, sultry, observed the chaos with icy detachment. Everything was unfolding exactly as I'd orchestrated. I'd already pored over the analytics Irene had flagged. Paige was clearly behind the smear campaign, weaponizing her fandom to fan the flames. As the city's reigning socialite, Paige had amassed a staggering 80 million followers online. Under her subtle cues, her army of loyal fans launched relentless verbal attacks on me. But I had already analyzed the data. All it would take was exposing Paige's carefully constructed image for the fraud it was. And today, the Jones family's plot had gifted me the perfect weapon. Standing beside me, Cole observed the unfolding chaos with a mix of curiosity and admiration. The calm, calculating way I turned the tide left him genuinely impressed. Meanwhile, Darren and Paige had been holed up in their private room, anxiously waiting for any word from Kiara. Out in the hallway, they ran into a few familiar CEOs. Darren immediately launched into small talk, trying to fish for investment leads. One of them, a known troublemaker who'd already seen the footage of Kiara's disgrace, leaned in with a faux innocent grin.
Mr. Jones, where's that brilliant wife of yours today? She had something urgent come up, couldn't make it. Ah, such a shame. Everyone knows your wife is stunning and daring. You're a lucky man, Mr. Jones.
Darren, still riding high on what he thought were genuine compliments, beamed even brighter.
You flatter me. How about a drink? My treat.
But before anyone could answer, Paige tugged urgently at Darren's sleeve.
Dad, we've got a serious problem.
Confused, Darren took her phone and glanced at the screen. In an instant, his smile vanished. His entire face went stiff.
Seems like you have something urgent to handle, Mr. Jones. We'll catch up another time.
The CEOs could barely hide their amusement as they quickly walked away. Darren stood frozen, humiliated, heat creeping up his neck. His fists clenched at his sides as fury surged through him. Kiara's life had always slipped by under the radar. Once word got out she was Paige's mother, the scandal detonated like a bomb. Social media ignited with ruthless commentary. Oh my god, Paige's mom is a complete train wreck. Paige always gave off this elegant, flawless vibe. Now her mom's out here acting like trash?
As they say, like mother, like daughter. Was Paige's whole persona a sham?
Darren's hands shook as he scrolled through the comments section, his blood pressure spiking with each new post.
She'll pay for this!
Dad, please, there's gotta be a mistake. Mom wouldn't do something like that.
Get out of my way!
With a violent shove, Darren knocked her aside and stormed off toward the main hall. Paige staggered, her heel slipping as she nearly lost her footing. A sharp ache spread through her chest. It wasn't until Paige's call lit up Darren's screen that a sliver of rationality pierced through his fury. Grinding his teeth, he yanked Kiara toward the door and dragged her out. The internet exploded with chatter, and every discussion pointed back to Paige. Kiara kept scrolling, but the deeper she went, the more anxious she got. Her nerves were completely shot. Across town, I sat with my phone in hand, quietly scanning the chaos unfold. All the drama swirling around had conveniently shifted focus away from the Evans family, and the hate aimed at me was finally cooling off. I never expected to take Paige down with one move, but I could see the cracks forming.
You used one disaster to distract the public. That's some next-level strategy. Honey, should I hand over the PR department to you?
I don't have time for your jokes. I've got actual work to do. Later. With that, I simply spun on my heel and walked away without a glance back. As I disappeared into the distance, Cole's lips tugged into a grin. That fiery spark of mine, he was definitely into it. Cole! Tears still clinging to her lashes, Paige rushed toward him. Her gaze was drenched in sorrow, hesitation, and something that resembled love. I understand you were forced to marry Alana. I'm not angry. I miss you more than I can explain. This vulnerable persona had always drawn sympathy from men, but to Cole, it came off as theatrical and irritating.
None of this would have happened if it weren't for Alana. She spiked my mom's drink. Now I'm stuck in the fallout. Please, Cole, stay away from her. She's dangerous.
Right when Cole opened his mouth to respond, I reappeared in the hallway. Oblivious to my approach and mistaking Cole's smile for a sign of affection, Paige's heart skipped a beat.
I'll wait as long as it takes, Cole. Forever if I have to.
But before Paige could even settle into the moment, my slim hand strapped between them and tore Cole from her grasp. Thrown off balance, Paige stumbled forward and crashed ungraciously to the floor. Paige spun around and finally caught sight of me. Her entire body went stiff. How was I standing there, calm and unharmed? Following in your mom's footsteps? Must be hereditary, this obsession with other women's husbands.
You! How dare you! You're the one who stole Cole from me! He was supposed to be mine!
I didn't steal anything. Fate handed me a husband, and I intend to keep him. So don't set your sights on my husband. Right, darling?
Yeah.
You hear that? Try hitting on my husband again, and I'll make sure the whole internet knows what you pulled. Come on, darling, let's head home. With that, I grabbed Cole's hand and gave it a sharp tug. The 6'3" CEO, usually colder than a winter night, trailed behind me like a loyal puppy. I didn't let go of Cole's hand until Paige was out of sight. Only then did I finally release him.
Weren't you supposed to be busy? Why did you come back?
Our agreement says I'm supposed to keep those unwanted admirers off you. I was just doing my job. How'd I do?
And who told you I don't like Paige? I don't recall ever telling you that.
So you're saying you like Paige? What a waste of those flawless Evans family genes. You look all polished and high class, but your taste is straight up garbage. Cole coughed, nearly choking on air. He hadn't braced for that level of shade. Sorry for crashing your time with her earlier, but it's not too late. That fool's probably still out there, daydreaming about popping out your babies. Cole rubbed his temples, a headache brewing. When I opened my mouth again, he stepped forward, backing me against the wall.
Alana, keep talking like that and I'll kiss you quiet.
All right, fine. But you gotta tell me who you're into and who you're not. How else am I supposed to know who to ferret off next time?
I don't go for fools. And I'm definitely not planning on kids with any of them.
Fair enough. For a second, we just stared at each other, and then burst out laughing at how absurd the whole exchange was.
Heard a kiss can cut through awkwardness. Want to test it?
I shoved him back and turned to leave. Who'd have thought the cold Cole could turn into a full-on flirt in a heartbeat? As I stepped out of the royal club, a soft meow stopped me in my tracks. A tiny white kitten sat at my feet, gazing up with bright eyes. Darling? I crouched down, heart racing. After a close look, I was sure it was the kitten I'd lost over a year ago. Darling had been a gift from my best friend Ada. We'd been inseparable until Paige, eaten up with jealousy, dumped Darling somewhere far off. I'd sobbed my heart out over it. Seeing Darling alive and well, tears welled in my eyes. I scooped up the kitten, hugging it tight. Darling, I'm never letting you go again. Never. Cole stood nearby, watching quietly, his expression unreadable. It then hit him who I'd been calling for him in my sleep. I stood, clutching the cat close, and looked at Cole with hopeful eyes. Can I bring Darling home?
Yeah, it's cute. This kitty looks like it's been fending for itself for a while.
Let's take it to a vet, make sure it's okay.
I blinked. Cole, CEO of 10 companies and too busy to breathe, was actually volunteering to hit the vet with me? Cole was already sliding into the driver's seat.
Come on.
Cradling the cat, I slipped in beside him and gave him a sideways glance. My voice softened. Thanks.
How are you planning to thank me?
How would you like me to thank you?
The best kind of thanks a woman can give a man is a kiss, honey.
I shot him a look and then turned away to watch the scenery roll by. He was in one of his playful moods again. Meanwhile, back at the event, the lecherous men paid to rape me were dragged out one by one, faces bloodied, as Cole's car pulled into the vet's parking lot. He glanced sideways.
You go ahead. I'll wait here.
Just the fact that Cole had driven me to the vet was already beyond my expectations. Hugging the cat close, I slipped out of the car and headed for the door. About 30 minutes later, I stepped out of the vet's office, cradling the freshly groomed cat. It's just a little skinny. Some food, some cuddles. It'll be its adorable self in no time. Cole smirked, started the engine, and eased the car back onto the road. I took out my phone, snapped a quick photo of the cat nestled against my chest, and fired off a message to Ada. Ada, I found Darling. Eliana, I heard you tied the knot with someone from the Evans family. You hanging in there all right? Stole Paige's dream man. What do you think? Come on, spill it. What's the story? I filled her in on the rundown of the mystery marriage. Still no idea who signed us up at City Hall. I'm working on tracking it down. They're saying Cole's a total heartthrob. Every girl's daydream. Is that for real? With a sly glance at Cole, I took a profile shot of Cole and sent it to Ada. Damn, he's even hotter than I imagined. Be honest, are you into him? Yep. Did you shoot your shot yet? Not even close. Why? You think you're not his type or something? Apparently, he's into ugly women. With my terrible makeup, I am far from attractive. But he keeps sneaking in hugs, stealing kisses. Honestly, I'm convinced he's got a few screws loose. Before Ada could fire back, Call's voice cut in.
Honey, I noted you snap secret pecs and side-eye me like I'm the main course. Who are you chatting with, huh?
As he spoke, he reached for my phone, a mischievous glint in his eye. I swiftly pulled my phone out of Cole's reach, clutching it to my chest like a lifeline. But the damage was done. Ada's voice message started playing loud and clear. No way, Alana. Did Cole steal your first kiss? Mortified, I froze. My cheeks went up in flames as the words hung in the air.
Whoops. Didn't mean to rob you of your first kiss.
If you think it's unfair, go ahead and reclaim it.
I'd rather dump a mug of steaming coffee on you. Cole threw his head back and laughed, completely unbothered. By the time we pulled into the Evans family's estate, Cole's phone was ringing. He stepped aside to answer, leaving me to walk into the mansion with the cat curled in my arms.
Thank God we didn't let Paige marry into the Evans family. Sure, Cole marrying Alana might seem like a stouncrade, but it's actually a blessing in disguise.
When I entered the room with the cat, Irene's expression shifted, her eyes glinting with satisfaction.
Seriously? Stirring up drama again? Who said that thing was allowed here?
I eyed the rude kid, and suddenly remembered he'd been the one who pressured me to drink that glass of wine at the wedding. Still, with Reuben observing nearby, I chose not to engage. I kept my composure and greeted the elders with polite restraint.
Hey, are you ignoring me? No furry creatures allowed in this family! Get that cat out of here this instant!
So animals with fur are banned, huh? Why are the bald ones free to roam? Shaving doesn't make them less of pets, does it? Jeff, his hair recently shaved, stiffened, his mind lagging behind. Everyone else caught on immediately. A few covered their mouths, struggling not to laugh.
Wait, you're calling me names? How rude!
Trying to diffuse the tension, Trinity jumped in. Come on, Jeff. Alana didn't mean anything by it. She probably just didn't know about the no pets rule. Right on cue, Cole stepped through the doorway.
Cole, this woman brought a cat. I told her to get rid of it, but she refused, and then she insulted me.
I didn't know, is raising a cat really not allowed?
It is allowed. The butler has set up a special room for the cat, and we've arranged someone to care for it.
A ripple of disbelief swept through the room. The no pets policy existed because of Cole's severe allergies. Was he seriously tossing that rule aside? It's sweet for Cole to dote on his wife, but his health should come first, don't you think?
Grandpa, isn't she putting Cole in danger by bringing that cat in?
Before anyone could answer, a sharp crack echoed through the room. Reuben had slammed his ceramic mug onto the marble table. The grand living room fell so quiet that one could hear a pin drop.
Get on your knees.
The whole room jumped at Reuben's fury. Everyone knew that Reuben turned into a fire-breathing dragon when riled up.
What are you still standing there for, you eyesore? Grandpa said kneel. You ow!
With a heavy thud, Jeff hit the floor, knees first. Reuben had smacked Jeff's knee with his cane.
Grandpa, why'd you hit me?
I asked you to kneel.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Alana is Cole's wife, the lady of this house. Disrespecting her isn't just rude, it's disgraceful.
You kneel too!
Bertram.
Dad said kneel, Irene, do it.
With clenched teeth and burning cheeks, Irene dropped beside Jeff, the humiliation crashing down on her.
Jeff's insolence is a direct result of your spoiling, Irene. You're both grounded for 3 days.
Understood.
Fine, I'll take the hit for disrespecting Alana, but she broke the no pet rule. That's gotta count for something.
If pets are a problem, Alana and I can just move out. No need to stir the pot.
At these words, everyone froze. Jeff shut up instantly.
You little brat. Cole's the family lead. If he wants to let Alana have a pet, he has every right.
But Cole's allergic to pet fur.
He's a grown man. He doesn't need some snot-nosed kid fussing over his health.
So, can I get a pet too?
One pet is more than enough for this house.
Jeff's shoulders slumped in defeat. So much for that dream. Across the room, a few exchanged looks. Reuben's bias was loud and clear. He'd do anything to keep Cole content. I was enjoying the sweet perks of being Cole's wife. I had to stifle my laughter. After a quick farewell to Reuben, Cole took my hand and led me upstairs. Once we were upstairs, I peeked at Cole. He'd let me keep the cat even though it made him sneeze. My heart melted a little. Thank you.
How exactly do you plan on thanking me? Really?
Wary of another kiss request, I yanked my hand back. No kissing. But I've got a present for you. From my shoulder bag, I carefully drew out a small object and extended my open hand toward Cole. Resting in my palm was a delicate sanchi. Its simple cloth stitched by hand and decorated with tiny, ornate flowers. I brought this for you.
You made this?
I did.
So what's the plan here? You want me to carry it around and miss you every second I smell it?
It's meant to help with allergies. If you keep it on you, the pet fur won't bother you. You let me keep my cat? I figured it's the least I could do. Without a word, Cole gave a small nod and slipped the sandshudge into the inner pocket of his suit.
I'm heading out on a business trip tonight. Not sure when I'll be back. If anything gets too much, just call me.
Where to?
Valand. I'm meeting with Dr. Milena Atkinson.
Is it for someone close to you?
2 years ago, Jeff pulled a reckless stunt that ended with the Henderson family's third daughter falling from the second floor. She's been unable to stand since. Things have only gotten worse. We've brought in every top specialist, but none could fix it. If she dies, there's no repairing what's left between our families. Right now, everything depends on Dr. Atkinson. I've spent a long time trying to locate her, but she's a master at keeping her location secret.
After Cole's words sank in, I gently bit my lip, torn over whether I should admit that I was Milena Atkinson. A beat later, I chose silence. My secret wasn't ready to surface. Not yet. Safe travels. Before leaving, Cole reached out, gave my hair a light, unexpected pad, and walked out without a word. With my cat nestled in my arms, I moved to the tall window and watched his car disappear into the distance, a faint unease blooming quietly inside me. Our marriage might have been strange, and our time together short, but he had shown me more warmth than anyone had since my mother died. After Cole left, I had dinner alone with the Evans family. Irene and Jeff were still confined to their rooms. No one dared cause trouble under Reuben's watchful eye. After dinner, I finally had the chance to scrub off the heavy makeup. I stepped out of the bathroom wearing only a thin towel, drying my damp hair. A tall silhouette stood silently in the room. A startled gasp escaped me. Most women would cover their bodies, but I reacted differently. My hands flew to hide my face instead. The towel was already short, barely covering my thighs. Cole hadn't expected this sight. For a moment, he just stood there, stunned. Without the layers of garish makeup, my complexion was flawless. Even with half my face hidden, I was breathtaking.
Honey, you seem so eager. Wouldn't it be wrong of me to leave you disappointed?
He lowered his head toward mine.
Stop right there! This isn't what it looks like. I'm not trying to seduce you, I swear.
The agreement, huh? Yet last night you climbed into my bed. Tonight, perfect timing again, you're wrapped in a single towel, and now you claim it's not what it looks like?
He pressed a slow kiss to my forehead.
You don't need to play games with me. If you want me, I'm more than happy to oblige. That's what husbands are for.
Can you get up first and then let's talk? Cole didn't move. Instead, his lips traveled gently across my face, my forehead, my eyelids, my nose. One hand reached for the edge of my towel.
Don't! I'm not wearing anything on my face. I might terrify you.
Something in Cole's gaze softened. He didn't let me go without a tease, though. His palm landed with a playful smack on my partially exposed bottom. I bolted for the bathroom, heat surging to my cheeks. In record time, I threw on a loose nightgown and slapped together a rushed layer of makeup. Storming out of the bathroom, I shot Cole a glare sharp enough to cut glass. I thought you were flying out. Why are you back here suddenly?
Well, somehow I sensed your burning excitement calling me back, so here I am.
Cut the nonsense and talk straight.
Just forgot this. I'm out the door in a minute.
He raised a folder, then walked out. I rushed to the door and locked it the moment it clicked shut behind him. My phone buzzed abruptly. Darren's voice came through, sharp and furious.
Alana, who told you it was okay to take your mother's things?
And why would I need your approval to touch my own mother's things?
Those things carry my memories. Bring them back, now!
Darren, have you forgotten how you tossed your vows aside and paraded your mistress around like royalty? Don't insult my mother's memory. Darren fell silent.
If you're refusing to hand over her things, then there's something else you must agree to.
And what exactly would that be?
I want the $500 million back. The money I gave you.
Aren't you even a little embarrassed saying that out loud? Without another word, I ended the call. The next few days passed quietly. The Jones family kept their heads down, and no one from the Evans side caused me trouble. Following Ruben's wishes, I buried myself in SAT prep, playing the part of a studious girl. On the evening of the third day, I received a call that completely shocked me.
Hi, Eliana.
Paige sounded like sunshine, as if she hadn't been embroiled in scandal just days ago.
So, Paige, what's this call really about? I wanted to let you know my engagement party with Raylan is tomorrow. You and Cole are invited, of course.
Raylan Hudson had once been my fiancé. After my mother's death, Raylan wanted nothing to do with me. He called me ugly and threw himself at Paige. Paige had never genuinely returned his interest. She just strung him along to humiliate me. Now she was finally accepting him. It wasn't love, it was revenge.
Paige, how could you marry Raylan? Raylan is mine!
You must be feeling pretty miserable. If you still think he belongs to you, come to my engagement party tomorrow and try to steal him back. I'll definitely be there. Raylan means everything to me. I'll be waiting. Right after ending the call with Paige, a knock came at my door. The butler, Paulina, handed me an invitation. The event was scheduled at Ublenta Hotel, which I happened to secretly own. A playful idea crossed my mind. Since I was the mysterious owner, should I give Paige an unforgettable surprise?
I was up early the next morning, already washed and in my ugly makeup.
I chose a long-sleeved peacock blue dress. The deep color didn't scream for attention, and I covered the designer's label with a small sticker. The dress wasn't from any store. It was a private, high-end commission from Rosa. Me. Mrs. Evans. Mr. Evans heard about the engagement party. He picked out some jewelry for you.
Just then, Paulina entered with a new gift box. I opened the box, one glance and my lips twitched in shock. It was the Endless Love necklace, also designed by Rosa, worth $1 billion.
Cole had been the mysterious buyer who paid $1 billion for it, and now he was giving it to me.
This jewelry is just too expensive. I can't wear it.
Mr. Evans thought you might feel that way. He asked me to deliver a message.
What did he say?
As his wife, you're not just attending a party. You're representing him. You should carry yourself with the presence expected from the wife of the richest man in the city.
That brought a small smile to my face. He was trying to persuade me to wear the necklace.
All right, help me put it on.
Paulina carefully picked up the $1 billion necklace and clasped it around my neck. I arrived at Ublanto Hotel quietly, but the moment I stepped into the hall, I ran straight into someone I would have rather avoided. Vivian, Raylan's sister.
Alana, this is Raylan and Paige's engagement party. What are you doing here?
Don't tell me you're still clinging to some fantasy about Raylan. He finds you repulsive.
So scram!
A crowd began to form around us.
Are you ignoring me on purpose?
Unbothered by the whispers, I pulled out my invitation and waved over the nearest security guard.
I was invited. So why is there a watchdog yapping at me?
Alana, you despicable woman!
Vivian raised her hand to slap me.
Miss Hudson, please calm down. This is their engagement party. Please don't cause a scene.
Just then, Paige walked in on Raylan's arm. All eyes turned to them. Paige was radiant in a flowing white gown, a diamond crown on her head. Raylan looked every bit the gentleman in a crisp white suit. Have you seen Paige's dress? It's a custom piece from Emily's newest collection worth $500,000. Rayan bought it for her. The hair accessories, earrings, and necklace, all designed by Emily too. Together they cost $30 million. Eliana, didn't you marry the richest man? So why do you look so ordinary?
Is Is life really so bad in the Evans family?
Whispers of judgment rippled through the crowd.
Seems like the rumors are true. Alana has no real standing in the Evans family.
Paige is the real winner here, adored by Rayland and living like a queen.
Alana, thank you for coming. Rayan's been spoiling me so much. He picked everything for me, from the venue to the gown and even my jewelry. I couldn't be happier. Paige, isn't it a little eager to get engaged to Raylan when the engagement between him and I still exists?
Paige invited you out of kindness. I only tolerate your presence for her sake.
Think twice before you make a scene, or you'll regret it.
He wrapped his arm around Paige like he was shielding her from something dangerous. $2 million. Rayan is so good to me. All eyes darted to my empty hands. The judgment in their gazes lingered.
Alana, although you took a marriage that wasn't yours and are clearly unhappy, it was your choice. Honestly, I'd be upset too if I were in your shoes.
Mrs. Jones, don't waste your time on someone like her. It's time to get the ceremony started.
Raylan took Paige's hand and led her away. Onlookers moved away from me, treating me like something contagious.
Watching the guy you love dote on another woman hurts, doesn't it? Weren't you planning to wreck the party today? Now's your chance. You're not scared, are you? Just stand there and let Paige enjoy everything you lost.
Brace yourself. I'm about to turn this whole place upside down.
Without another word, I walked toward the stage, each step deliberate and steady. The crowd stirred. Heads turned towards me one by one. The moment I reached the stage, Raylan's expression hardened.
What are you trying to pull now?
Mind if I borrow that microphone for a minute? Just a little reminder for everyone. Raylan and I have actually been engaged for quite some time.
Gasps and whispers rippled through the hall.
Paige's pulse quickened with excitement. She discreetly pinched her arm to produce real tears.
Alana, must you always act this way? Since childhood, you've competed with me for everything. You snatched Cole from me, and now you're here to claim Raylan despite wearing another man's ring.
Don't worry, I'm here.
Alana, I've loved you as my own daughter, but you've tormented Paige at every opportunity. You stand here as Mrs. Evans, yet crash Paige engagement to claim Raylan. What does this reveal about your loyalty to Cole?
Alina! You disgraceful girl! Get down from the stage and get the hell out of here!
I had watched quietly, letting them complete their performance. I never claimed I came to snatch anyone. Why are you all thrusting this accusation upon me?
But you commandeered the stage and announced your connection with Raylan at my engagement party.
I truly didn't come to disrupt your celebration. I came to announce something important.
Security! Remove this contemptible woman at once!
At that moment, Raylan's grandfather, Leonard, appeared. He raised one hand, and the room fell silent.
Speak your mind freely, child. I stand behind you.
Grandpa?
Shock transformed Raylan's face. He'd never understood his grandfather's inexplicable affection for me. I nodded respectfully to Leonard. As everyone present knows, Raylan and I are bound by an engagement. This arrangement was personally orchestrated by my mother and Leonard. I stand before you today to announce my intention to dissolve any past connection with Raylan Hudson. Raylan's face hardened with fury. He grabbed my wrist.
Who gave you the audacity to pull this stunt?
Mr. Hudson, please preserve what dignity remains to you. I am a married woman. My husband, Cole Evans, is far superior to you in every measure. I have no desire to trade husbands.
You?
Ignoring his rage, I turned to Leonard and bowed respectfully. Sorry for this drama. Leonard sighed deeply and walked away without another word. Paige burst into genuine tears. Leonard had left without a single bless to her.
Alana, you're miserable in your life, so you can't bear to witness my happiness. You deliberately orchestrated this humiliation, didn't you?
How could I possibly be miserable? My marriage brings me tremendous joy. I came genuinely to celebrate your engagement. Is that so? Then let's demonstrate to everyone exactly how happy you truly are. Paige lunged forward and tore off the sticker I had used to cover the logo on my dress. Every eye in the room fixed on the exposed logo.
Can it be? Is Alana wearing a custom Rosa creation?
That gown must cost $8 million.
Compared to that, Paige's $500,000 Emily dress seems almost pedestrian.
The murmurs cut through Paige like knives. Her scheme had backfired completely.
Alana, if your dress costs so much, why hide the logo? Is it a counterfeit?
Paige, why must you always assume the worst? I concealed the logo because I didn't wish to overshadow you. I aimed for modesty. I refused to believe Cole would spend so much on you. If Cole truly valued you, where is your jewelry? My husband did gift me jewelry, but I deemed it too ostentatious, so I concealed that as well. The crowd erupted.
Heaven help me, its radiance is blinding. Is this the legendary Endless Love? Word has it a mysterious Tycon bought it for $10 billion. That Tycon is Cole.
Who dares say Cole doesn't cherish Alana? He trusts her with a $10 billion masterpiece. Paige stared at the Endless Love necklace with pure hatred, trembling uncontrollably.
Alana, you stole Endless Love as well, didn't you? To humiliate me at my engagement party, you'd risk Cole's wrath?
Paige, I had Endless Love carefully concealed. You exposed it yourself trying to shame me. Haven't you engineered your own humiliation?
You could have chosen not to wear Endless Love at all!
My husband insisted I wear it. How could I refuse? Eliana, drop this charade. If Cole truly treasures you so dearly, why isn't he at your side today? I was about to explain that Cole was on a business trip when a commanding voice rang out from the entrance. My head snapped up. That tall, magnetic figure stood before me. The crowd turned as one. Gasps filled the air. Cole's striking looks and commanding presence instantly overshadowed Raylan.
Honey, I'm here.
Mr. Evans, what an unexpected honor to have you grace my engagement celebration.
Mr. Hudson, save your pleasantries. I haven't come for the engagement festivities. I'm here for my wife.
Raylan's expression froze. All eyes turned to me.
Cole, you see? Alana stole such expensive clothes and jewelry and caused this spectacle because she's desperately in love with Rylan. She simply couldn't bear watching him engaged to someone else.
Miss Jones, your accusation is absurd. My wife wears her own gown and jewelries. How could that possibly constitute theft?
And Miss Jones, let me assure you, with me by her side, my wife wouldn't lower her standards to desire your man. She possesses excellent taste.
Paige felt as though she'd been slapped across the face.
I must publicly clarify matters today. The Evans family never specified which daughter of the Jones family would become an Evans bride. The claim that Alana stole Paige's marriage is patently false. Should I hear anyone spreading rumors that tarnish either the Evans family name or Elena's reputation, I will pursue legal action without hesitation.
His words carried absolute authority, sending a chill through the room. Paige's nails dug into her palms. She had carefully spread rumors painting me as a thief. Cole had destroyed that narrative in seconds. Paige stood beneath countless judgmental stares, drowning in mockery. Tears streamed down her face as she looked pleadingly at Cole. But Cole turned away with complete indifference.
Are you planning to remain there all day?
I blinked in surprise. I hadn't expected Cole to defend me so publicly. I gathered my gown and hurried down from the stage to join him. Paige, congratulations on your engagement. My words pierced Paige's heart like a dagger. As I walked away with Cole, humiliation crashed over Paige. With a primal cry of rage, she tore the crown from her head and hurled it to the floor. The sound echoed through the hall, destroying the last shreds of Raylan's dignity.
Paige, control yourself!
Raylan's reputation is at stake.
The sharp pain brought Paige back to reality. She looked at Raylan. His face had turned thunderous. Just as Raylan was about to continue the engagement ceremony, the Ublanto hotel manager strode in with a team of black-suited security guards.
Miss Paige Jones, you have been permanently blacklisted from Ublento Hotel. Your presence is no longer welcome at any of our establishments worldwide. Vacate the premises immediately.
What?
On what grounds?
This comes directly from Lexi herself. Depart now, or security will assist your exit.
My fiancé conducts herself with unfeeling grace. I demand an explanation.
No comment.
With a wave of his hand, the security guards advanced toward Paige.
You operate a business. How dare you display such tyranny? Does the Hudson name mean nothing to you?
Mr. Hudson, you remain our honored guest. Ublin Hotel will continue providing impeccable service to you, but Miss Jones must exit these premises immediately.
The crowd struggled to contain their laughter. How was Raylan supposed to continue an engagement party without his fiancée?
This is a textbook case of a big shot stomping on the little guy. I'm gonna blow this wide open and file a complaint.
Ublanta Hotel always boasted about its top-notch service. You're not worried about dragging your name through the mud?
Miss Jones, let's make this quick. Walk out on your own. Or do I need to have security show you the door?
Paige was shaking with rage. Biting her lip, she stormed out on her own. Outside, Kiara pounced.
Paige, how did you get on Lexi's bad side?
I've never even met Lexi. How could I have offended her?
Mom, it's gotta be Alana pulling strings. She's using Cole's name to get back at me.
Cole wouldn't fall for someone as plain as Alana. But as long as she holds the title of Mrs. Evans, he has to support her in public. Don't worry. Alana's days of gloating are numbered.
After Cole whisked me out of the banquet hall, he didn't head home. Instead, he took me to the luxurious top-floor suite for dinner.
My phone buzzed with a message from Matthew, my second in command.
Lexi, the person you can't stand has been kicked out of Ublento Hotel.
I smirked and put my phone away.
Order whatever you're craving.
I took the menu and chose a few of my favorite dishes. Cole watched me navigate the menu with ease. A small smile tugged at his lips.
She's clearly no stranger to this place. Who is she really?
This necklace is far too expensive. I should give it back now. I reached to unclasp it. But
eat quickly. We're meeting someone after this.
Who?
You've probably heard of Lexi, the mysterious owner behind Ublento Hotel. In truth, this hotel is just one part of Lexi's empire. Lexi leads the Star Society. Today, we're meeting Lexi's second-in-command, Matthew Santos.
What do you want to see Matthew for?
The trip to Valand was a dead end. I need the Star Society's help to find the legendary healer, Milena.
I said nothing. I just bit my fork and stayed quiet.
After we finished eating, the hotel manager led us to another private room. Matthew was already waiting. When Matthew saw Cole, he stood politely, but the moment he saw me beside him, he stiffened. I glanced at Matthew. That was all it took. He understood immediately. Pretend he didn't know me.
Mr. Evans, pleasure to meet you. Please, have a seat.
Cole placed a check on the table.
I want to find Milena. 500 million, just as a deposit. If you take the job, you can name your price. No limits.
Matthew stared at the check, tempted, but he couldn't decide because I was involved. He found the situation hilarious.
Mr. Evans, I'll need to check with Lexi first. You must understand, Milena's whereabouts are an incredibly guarded secret. If the Star Society takes this on, it would require Lexi's direct involvement.
Then, can you arrange for me to meet Lexi?
I'm afraid that won't be easy. Lexi doesn't meet with outsiders.
Then please pass along a message for me. If Lexi is open to meeting, I'd be glad to get acquainted.
Understood. I'll deliver your message.
I appreciate it, Mr. Santos. I'll take my leave.
Cole took my hand and led me out.
Do you really want to be friends with Lexi?
I do.
Why? You don't strike me as someone who enjoys making friends.
I don't know. I just have this feeling that Lexi's a good person.
By evening, we returned to the Evans estate. 3 days had passed, and Irene and Jeff had been released from confinement. Jeff looked completely defeated. When he saw Cole, he jumped up immediately.
Cole! You're finally back! Did you find Milena?
No.
The light in Jeff's eyes died. He slumped back onto the sofa.
I'm finished. It's over.
Miss Henderson fell into a coma today. Her mother stormed in, furious. She said if her daughter dies, Jeff must follow her to the grave.
She's just trying to squeeze more money out of us.
Regardless of their motives, if Miss Henderson dies, the consequences fall on Jeff.
Ultimately, our family is at fault. No matter the cost, we have to find Milena.
I understand, Grandpa. I've already offered a substantial reward to the Star Society to help find Milena. I'm waiting for Lexi's response.
Just then, my phone buzzed with a message from Matthew.
Lexi, how should I respond to Cole?
I texted without hesitation. Tell him, no deal.
I heard Lexi from the Star Society is incredibly influential. Lexi has never failed a mission. If Lexi takes this on, Melina will definitely be found.
Right as she finished, Cole's phone rang.
Lexi declined.
Irene's smile froze on her lips. Jeff's shoulders slumped even further.
Then we must do everything possible to save Miss Henderson. If not, we must offer enough compensation to ease the hostility.
Later that night, I returned to the bedroom. With Cole still in the study, I hurried through my routine and claimed the bed first. When he finally walked in, I spoke before he could say a word. I have to take the SETs tomorrow. I need proper sleep. I'll take the bed, you can have the sofa. Cole glanced at me and smiled quietly. Without a word, he walked into the same bed. Though my eyes were open, I didn't want to get up. But the reminder of my SATs pushed me to force myself out of bed. Cole, already dressed, sat beside me like he'd been waiting.
Feeling nervous?
Part of me wanted to brush it off, but I nodded instead.
Very much. Barely studied, weak foundation. Might completely bomb it and embarrass you while I'm at it.
Cole let out a low laugh. After getting dressed, we headed downstairs side by side. Education was sacred in the Evans household. With me and Trinity both sitting for the SATs, Reuben and several relatives were already up, eager to send us off properly.
Good luck to both of you.
Others chimed in with good wishes, all centered around Trinity. I barely registered to them. Good luck, Alana. Let's both aim to make the Evans name proud.
Her? As the pride of the Evans family? What a joke! Casting aside her self-taught education, she wandered around all week while Trinity was buried in prep. Do you seriously think she can pull this off?
Trinity hid a smirk behind her juice glass. Jeff had done exactly what she hoped, humiliate me without her having to lift a finger. I cast a cool, disinterested look at Jeff and didn't bother replying. As expected, my lack of reaction only made Jeff angrier.
Alana, don't think you're untouchable just because Grandpa's got your back. You're nothing but a lowlife!
Before Jeff could finish, a biscuit flew out of nowhere, smacking him in the mouth and knocking him off his chair.
What gives you the right to throw things at me?
Talk smack about me again, and you'll wish you hadn't.
You?
Jeff rolled up his sleeves, ready to fight, but one look at Cole's warning glance made him back down.
Pain's gone, and now you forget the lesson, huh? You deserve a smackdown from your cousin-in-law.
After breakfast, I got into Cole's car to go to school. Trinity was itching to ride along but was too afraid to ask. Cole was obsessive about cleanliness and never let another woman in his car. She shot me a jealous glare. At the school gate, I thanked Cole, grabbed my bag, and started to get out.
Don't forget our deal. Once the exams are done, think hard about the answer you're going to give me.
I was speechless. Shouldn't he be telling me to stay calm during the test? Fine. Nope. All he cared about was own desire. I got out and walked toward the school. The next 2 days were smooth flating for me. Grueling exams by day, relaxing at the Evans Main by night. By the afternoon of the second day, I'd made up my mind about Cole's question. I couldn't say yes. My mother's advice from years ago echoed in my head. That fire was undoubtedly a conspiracy. Someone was pulling strings behind the curtain. I had to uncover the truth. With so much on my plate, getting tangled up in romance would only slow me down. Cole was a catch. Charming, tempting, but I had to let him go. Decision made, I took a deep breath and walked out of the school gate. Cole wasn't there to pick me up like the day before. Instead, Paulina was waiting.
Mrs. Evans? Mr. Evans got tied up in an emergency meeting, so he sent me to get you.
I nodded and got into the car. Hugh was behind the wheel again. He shot me a frosty glance.
You got a problem with me?
Yep.
Because I'm not pretty?
Being plain's not your fault, but not knowing your place is. Mr. Evans deserves someone on his level. What makes you think you can latch on to him?
Hugh, don't talk to Mrs. Evans like that.
Hugh clammed up, but his stiff neck showed he wasn't backing down.
Relax. I won't cling to him.
Mrs. Evans, don't let this idiot get to you.
Paulina wanted to say more, but my phone buzzed, cutting her off. I glanced at the screen. Kiara's name. I picked up.
Hello?
Alana, think you can overshadow Paige with just an empty title?
Keep dreaming. Paige has made a powerful comeback, and she's unstoppable.
Get ready to crash and burn.
This time, you're going down for good.
With that, Kiara hung up. Curious, I opened Paige's social media. She had done something that had the whole city buzzing. Paige had posted a photo of herself kneeling and offering tea to Merritt Carmen, captioned, "From now on, I have a new protector. So much joy."
Merritt was a legendary figure with deep connections to the underworld. He had clawed his way from a dock worker to a powerful boss. Recently, he had stepped into show business, and his company, Royal Entertainment, was home to many celebrities. I skimmed the headlines and let out a dry, amused laugh. Sure, Paige using Merrick as her ace had caught me off guard, but I wasn't fazed.
The higher Paige soared, the more spectacular her fall would be. And I would make sure of it. Right then, Paige sent me a message. "Alana, do you want to know what really happened with the fire back then? I can tell you the truth." The mere mention of the fire made my chest constrict. My mother's warnings and her final moments circled through my thoughts again and again. That fire was undoubtedly a conspiracy. My mother's advice to conceal my talents and beauty until adulthood had been for survival. Now that I had grown up, it was time to uncover the truth. "Can you tell me everything?" "Yes, but only if you agree to my terms first."
"And what exactly are you asking for?"
"Ever heard of the high-res graduation trip? Royal Entertainment's pouring cash into it, and I want you on the cast list."
I didn't need a second to decode Paige's angle. This was a setup, clear as day. Paige was riding a wave of popularity. The heiress's graduation trip was her grand entrance into showbiz. Inviting me wasn't an olive branch. It was a setup. "Alana, don't overthink it. I just want to clear up the misunderstandings between us. Like it or not, we're still family. I'm in a good place now, and I'm ready to let go of what happened before. We're both in the public eye now. The internet's a mess. We need to use this show to rewrite that narrative." As I read the messages, I could practically see Paige pacing. My rejection would make her spiral. She and Kiara had laid a path full of traps, dangling the truth about the fire like bait. All right then, I would go along with their little game. Sure, I had already been considering a move into the entertainment industry. Great, can't wait to have you on set. The moment our chat ended, my car pulled up to the Evans estate. I stepped out and walked into the living room. Trinity had beaten me home and was already on the couch, basking in everyone's attention.
"Trinity, you're a lock for top scorer in Ublanto. I'd better start thinking of a gift."
"Jeff, don't say that. The results haven't been released yet. Of course, there's always a chance Alina outshined me."
"Her? She's lucky if she didn't come in dead last."
"So, Trinity, now that exams are behind us, what's next for you?" "Miss Henderson's condition has been on my mind. I've decided to apply to Ublendo Medical University to help Jeff with her treatment."
"You're amazing, Trinity!"
"I've been mentored by Professor Sampson for 2 years. He plans to recommend me to Milena once my scores are in." "Milena?" The mention alone snapped everyone to attention. Just then, Ruben came down the staircase.
Trinity, are you saying you can actually contact Milena?
Over the past few years, Ublento Medical University has risen through the ranks, catching Milena's attention. She reached out to the university president about a collaboration. Professor Sampson was brought in to serve as the bridge. He told me he intends to involve me in the research project. Professor Sampson said someone with my potential shouldn't settle for mediocrity. He'll advocate for me personally, hoping to persuade Milena to accept me as her student. Then, she would recommend me to the International Medical Association.
Marvelous! Trinity, you're incredible! If you can connect with Milena, Miss Henderson's matter could be taken care of effortlessly.
I just want to be helpful. Jeff's burdens are mine to carry as well.
I am so lucky to have you as family, Trinity.
I stayed silent, but my lips curved slightly. As Milana herself, I was unaware of any collaboration with the university.
So, Alana, how do you think the exams went?
I think I did all right.
Have you picked out a university? What are you thinking of doing down the road?
I was momentarily thrown off. I had only taken the exams to keep Ruben off my back. College, I hadn't given it much thought. But one path remained untouched: the entertainment world. If I made a name for myself there, my mother might catch a glimpse of me on screen. I've decided to pursue acting. I want to try the entertainment industry. The room seemed to tilt off balance.
Seriously, Alana? You think someone with your looks can survive in that industry?
The entertainment industry is full of stunners. Think about what kind of embarrassment that could bring to the Evans family. You don't need a diploma for showbiz, sure, but that industry worships beauty. Maybe think it through before diving in.
Alana, did you even talk to Cole about this?
Right on cue, Cole walked in. Every head swung his way.
Cole! Alana just said she wants to break into the entertainment world.
If that's what you want, go for it. Should I back you financially?
A stunned silence gripped the room. Even I didn't see that coming. Thanks, but I won't need your money. I'll figure it out on my own. Reuben looked like he was about to object, but Cole's unexpected support shut him up.
Alana, upstairs. We need to talk.
Without a word, I got up and followed him. Everyone exchanged knowing looks. They were convinced Reuben was about to give me a scolding. I shared the same thought as those downstairs, that Reuben would try to talk me out of joining the entertainment world. But when I stepped into the study, his behavior took an unexpected turn. He gestured me in with a cryptic wave.
Alana, shut the door and have a seat. I need to ask you something important, and I want the truth.
All right. What is it?
Have you and Cole slept together?
I nearly swallowed wrong and coughed. Was he seriously asking that?
I'll take that as a no, then.
Reuben's expression cooled into disapproval. I offered a strained smile, which he took as confirmation.
I knew that rascal Cole was just putting on a performance for my sake. Don't worry, Alana. I'll make sure everything goes according to plan. Whether he likes it or not, it's going to happen.
I reached up and brushed my nose, hesitant to admit that the problem wasn't Cole. It was my own unwillingness.
But you can't expect me to do all the work. You've got to step up. Cole's a proud, hard-headed guy. You'll have to make him look past the surface and recognize what makes you special. And once you give him a child, he won't stray an inch.
I stayed silent, offering no opinion, only lowering my head as I listened.
You got all that, right?
I got it, Reuben.
Good girl. You can go now. I'll handle everything tonight.
I didn't know what he intended to handle, but I stood quickly and slipped out. Back in my room, I shut the door. Downstairs, everyone expected me to come down in tears, but the one summoned next was Cole.
Grandpa, did Alana do something to upset you?
Alana, that sweet girl? You're the one who's got me fuming.
Me? What did I do?
Care to explain why you haven't consummated your marriage with Alana?
Cole fell silent. He couldn't admit she'd turned him down.
Do you know how heartbroken Alana looked, crying to me that you pushed her away, insulted her looks, and treated her like a stranger?
I wouldn't dream of ignoring you.
You'll promise me right now you're going to consummate the marriage with Alana tonight.
Fine. It's happening.
Good. I'll have the kitchen prepare a special soup for you to drink later.
Cole didn't need to ask to know what kind of soup that was, but he just nodded. Dinner had an oddly tense undercurrent that night. Everyone had expected me to look rattled, but I appeared calm. Cole acted no different than usual. The older family members exchanged knowing looks at the bowl of soup. They understood its meaning all too well. Everyone realized he hadn't touched me on our wedding night. Sympathetic glances were cast at Cole. How could any man willingly be tied to someone the world saw as ugly as me? All eyes flicked to Cole, waiting for his response. If he flatly refused, Reuben couldn't do anything about it. Trinity bit her lip, dreading that Cole might actually drink the soup. And then Cole did. He lifted the bowl and drained every last drop without flinching. Shock painted every face in the room. Trinity nearly bit through her lip. Cole drinking the soup meant he accepted me as his wife to stay in the Evans household. But Reuben sat with quiet triumph. To him, this was the best possible outcome. Cole paid no attention to the sidelong glances. He set the bowl down and went upstairs without a word. At first, I hadn't grasped the meaning behind the soup, but as I caught the furtive looks being exchanged, something clicked. Wait, what was going to happen to Cole now that he'd drunk the soup? I'd been planning to give him the answer tonight. The Evans family kept a rigid routine. By 9, the entire household typically vanished behind closed doors, but tonight broke the pattern. Everyone listened in hushed anticipation, wondering what might unfold after Cole finished that bowl of soup. Cole had an urgent video conference after dinner. By the end of it, a strange heat had crept through his body. He took a cold shower, changed into pajamas, and returned to the bedroom. Tonight, I was supposed to give him the answer. He didn't want to rush me. When he stepped into the bedroom, I had already showered and was sitting on the bed in my nightgown, scrolling through my phone. The moment I looked up, his composure shattered. He closed the distance, snatched my phone, and caged me against the headboard. Next morning, I was up early. A quick breakfast, and I was out the door to film the heiress's graduation trip. When the rest of the Evans family finally came down, I had long since vanished. Eager to ruin me, Paige had locked in a contract with me right after our chat. By sunrise, a teaser was already online. The tension between us was already making waves. Once the teaser dropped, the views exploded. While heading to the shoot, I scrolled through the comments and skimmed the cast list, only to find something so ridiculous that it nearly made me laugh out loud. With Royal Entertainment backing the project to launch Paige's debut, every element was tailored to flatter her. The themes, the guests, everything was calculated to put Paige at the center. Kent was just a stepping stone. I had been boxed into the unremarkable role, clearly positioned as the show's comic relief, meant to fault under Paige's spotlight. I smirked coldly. Paige had micromanaged everything. She would trample over anyone to stay center stage. At exactly 7 a.m., I arrived at the filming site. The other guests were already there. The livestream countdown hit 0. Cameras rolled into live mode. Viewers flooded in by the thousands.
This program is co-produced by Royal Entertainment and Ublento Cultural Tourism. At the end, viewers will vote for one male and one female as cultural tourism ambassadors.
The first guests introduced were Raylan and Paige, hand in hand, dressed like the perfect couple.
Hi, everyone. We're diving into this new journey with nothing but love and courage.
The camera focused on Kent. He turned to the left, his expression hardening.
Alana, whatever drama you had with Paige before, don't try it now. Not while I'm watching. I won't let anyone hurt her.
The camera swung toward me, catching me mid-expression, completely unprepared. The moment I appeared on screen, the once buzzing chat room fell into a stunned silence, but only for a heartbeat. The production team cut to a split screen of me and Paige standing side by side. The contrast was brutal. My appearance sent the live viewership soaring from thousands to millions, pushing the broadcast to the top of the charts. Haley, the director, quietly told the crew to keep the cameras on me. A towering screen beside the camera fed the live chat to the guests. My humiliation played out in real time. Around me, not a single sympathetic face, only thinly veiled glee, especially Paige, smiling sweetly for the camera but inside reveling in it. But I didn't flinch. As the chat dredged up my old scars in the fire, I simply curled my lips. This was why I had come, to rip open the lies sealed 15 years ago, to clear my name, and to drag the truth into the light.
Alana, please share your motto with the audience.
Everyone expected me to crumble or retaliate in a fit of rage. I'm here to uncover the truth behind that fire, and the real culprit should be the one trembling right now. The studio froze. Paige and the crew were blindsided. No one had expected me to go there. Not publicly, not live. The audience had lost interest in pretty faces. Now they wanted blood. Rage and panic flared behind Paige's carefully maintained smile. And then, unable to stop herself, she snapped.
Alana, everyone must confront the consequences of their actions. Fortunately, your youth means people will forgive you. Simply live honorably from now on. The police never confirmed anything back then. What authority grants you the right to judge me? Alana, I speak only for your benefit. I hate seeing you stumble through life, repeating one error after another. Are you threatened by my search for truth? Why resist uncovering what really happened? Does unease haunt you? Alana, stop this nonsense! What possible reason would I have for unease? I was merely 8 when the fire occurred.
Indeed. My parents remained married when the fire devastated our lives, yet you're 3 years my senior, being my half-sister.
Isn't that intriguing? The observation struck Paige's most vulnerable point. Nothing terrified her more than public discussion of her illegitimate birth. She pressed her lips together in rigid silence, terrified that further conversation would expose even more humiliating truths. Watching public opinion turn viciously against Paige, Haley frantically signaled the camera crew to redirect focus.
The next guest stepped into the spotlight.
Hello, everyone. I'm Raylan's sister, Vivian. My mission on this show is protecting my brother and his fiancé's perfect relationship from any outside interference.
This rehearsed declaration had been prepared before my revelation about Paige's illegitimate origin. Vivian failed to adapt, inadvertently deepening Paige's humiliation. The live chat immediately reunited discussions about infidelity. Haley dared not risk another disaster and swiftly directed cameras toward the next guest. The following introductions proved disappointingly mundane. 2 newly debuted male artists. 2 rich girls, 1 loaded guy, nothing remarkable. The final guest, however, offered an unexpected breath of fresh air. Haley Loftus, a recent college graduate from modest origins.
My goal is simple: meet diverse individuals, experience new perspectives, and expand my knowledge. I appreciate your understanding.
The other guests exchanged contemptual smirks. My gaze sharpened as I sensed something amiss. My mind raced. This show had established an exclusive social hierarchy. No space for commoners. Yet Haley had somehow secured a place. Why? From Haley's first appearance, I worked to unravel this puzzle. Her presence couldn't be coincidental. After the final introduction, Haley reclaimed control and unveiled the episode's challenge.
Today, we'll guide our live audience through the Ublento Art Museum. The evening culminates in the finale of the Starry Oil Painting Competition. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured legendary oil painter Mr. Luciano Scott as our special guest. Mr. Scott rarely entertains strangers. Seize this moment. Let's discover who might earn the privilege of becoming his student.
Several guests perked up at the prospect of studying under Luciano. Only my lips curled into a knowing, sardonic smile. Luciano was no devoted artistic purist. Behind his cultivated facade lurked shadowy transactions of money and influence. His appearance came with an exorbitant price tag from merit. I could map the coming charade with perfect clarity. Luciano would lavish praise on Paige's exceptional talent and announced her as his protégé. The championship trophy was already engraved with her name. This supposed cultural exploration masked a shameless vanity project funded by wealth and manipulation. As for whatever traps Paige had set along this path, I had yet to uncover them. But I would be ready. Having dissected these machinations and noting the cameras focused elsewhere, I discreetly messaged Matthew. Investigate Luciano's meetings and activities over the past 48 hours.
Consider it done, Lexi.
Right then, Haley announced their departure. The production team had arranged transportation to the Ublento Art Museum. I pocketed my phone and reached for my suitcase. In that moment, Vivian approached. With cameras trained on Paige and Raylan ahead, this exchange remained unfilmed.
You? Come here. You're responsible for my luggage.
Humiliation blazed across Haley's face, yet she swallowed her outrage and reluctantly grasped Vivian's massive suitcase, struggling under its weight. I couldn't stand by and watch this cruelty. Vivian, why should someone else bear your burden?
She's a nobody. She's lucky we even let her on this show. What does she even bring? Fetching water? Collecting freebies? Sucking up paychecks she hasn't earned? With a sharp sneer aimed at both Haley and me, Vivian turned and stalked toward the bus.
An ugly face and a useless extra. You two really are made for each other.
My eyes narrowed as I watched Vivian strut away. Beside me, Haley shifted uneasily.
I'm sorry, Miss Marsh. I got you involved in this.
I turned and gave Haley a quiet once-over. She looked honest, untouched by scheming, with eyes too clear for a world this cruel.
Why didn't you take a regular job after college? Because this show pays better. My boyfriend, he's very sick.
He needs surgery, and we don't have time to save up the slow way.
Thank you for speaking up. But I knew what I was signing up for. I expected the bullying. If it means I can help the person I love, I'll take every insult and keep going. I just have to make it to the end.
Haley's fear was plain to see. Being kicked off the show halfway would mean losing her full payout. Without that money, her boyfriend's surgery might never happen. I hadn't expected this delicate-looking girl to be so quietly tenacious. Most would have walked away by now. My gaze flicked toward Vivian, who had just reached the bus steps, all smug confidence and swinging hips. A smirk tugged at my lips. With a flick of my fingers, a silver needle slipped into the air, invisible to all but me. A beat later, Vivian let out a startled shriek and went crashing backward off the bus.
She hit the ground hard, her skirt flaring up in a humiliating arc. Lacy black panties, scandalously sheer, flashed under the sun, broadcast live to millions. The show had been pushing the love story angle, Paige and Raylan as the golden couple. Paige had been basking in the limelight, but Vivian's tumble stole the spotlight. The chat exploded with Vivian memes. Paige's name vanished from the feed.
Moments later, Vivian was whisked away, suitcase and all. With Vivian gone, filming resumed. Raylan seemed uneasy. His sister was hospitalized. It didn't feel right to continue with showy romance. Paige, stuck playing the grieving almost sister-in-law, wore a mask of concern. Internally, she was fuming.
Haley glanced up at me. While no one else had noticed my little sleight of hand, she had. She'd seen the flick of the fingers, the needle, the smirk. Eyes wide with awe and disbelief, Haley whispered,
Mrs. Marsh, I want to tell a secret. I overheard Haley and Paige whispering about plans to sabotage you during the recording.
Thank you for the warning. Let's go. With swift determination, I gripped my suitcase and strode toward the bus. Haley followed.
After stowing our luggage, we boarded and reappeared in the live broadcast. The bus doors sealed. The journey to the museum began. Tension filled the vehicle while the live chat spiraled into chaos. No one had foreseen such immediate complications. Paige's expected dominance over me had reversed into repeated failures. My phone vibrated. A message from Matthew.
Lexi, I forwarded Luciano's complete itinerary from the past 48 hours. We've secured footage from his other destinations, but Merrick's club remains impenetrable. Their Sepkos Cardi exceeds our capabilities.
I'll handle this personally. With the other guests deliberately shunning me and Haley momentarily called away, I used the isolation. I infiltrated Merritt's network through my smartphone. Using Matthew's timeline, I swiftly located footage of Luciano's meeting with Merritt, Paige conspicuously present. In the footage, Merritt admired a canvas.
My sincere gratitude, Mr. Scott, for delivering this painting personally.
Serving you is my greatest honor. This is my finest work. With Miss Jones' name attached, victory at the competition is assured.
I appreciate your work, Mr. Scott. I anticipate our continued collaboration. I downloaded the damning evidence, erased my digital footprints, and exited the system. The bus rolled to a stop at the museum. Luciano awaited, dressed in artistic finery, surrounded by an admiring crowd. Paige, who had maintained her facade of melancholy, suddenly lit up with excitement and rose eagerly. As passengers disembarked, Paige deliberately lengthened behind. Once beyond the camera's reach, she seized my wrist. What do you want?
Alana, I have a few words for you. Don't mistake your temporary victories for lasting triumph. You stole my marriage, dragged my name through filth, destroyed my engagement, and disrupted this show, yet you cannot halt my ascension.
When I stand bathed in adoration's spotlight, you'll be the internet's mockery.
Let's see whom Cole chooses when the dust settles.
I'll be watching intently as you're blinded by others' brilliance, while struggling to escape the judgment you've earned.
What gives you the right to address me this way? Remember why you joined this show. To learn about the fire. Provoke me further, and those answers vanish forever.
Oh, come on. Why would I trust anything slithering from your lips?
You're not seeking truth? Then what purpose brings you here? Your downfall.
How laughable! With what weapon? Your empty title as Mrs. Evans?
Word travels that Cole fled home last night too furious to share your roof. How much longer can you maintain this performance?
With so many people in the Evans household, it wasn't surprising that someone had gossiped. Paige's knowledge didn't shock me. I let her cling to false hope. The higher her expectations soared, the more devastating their crash.
Interpreting my silence as confirmation,
Paige smirked, snorted contemptuously, and abandoned the vehicle.
Through the window, I watched Paige gravitate towards Luciano, her practiced charm activating before the cameras. I stepped off the bus, a knowing smile playing across my lips. The entourage streamed toward the museum, Paige accompanying Luciano, cameras tracking their every move. I was relegated to the crowd's periphery. I pulled out my phone to monitor the live stream. Paige was reciting clearly rehearsed lines about art and aesthetics. I savored these comments with quiet amusement, anticipating the mortification awaiting Paige's devotees. Suddenly, commotion rippled from ahead. We had entered the museum's first exhibition hall, where an oil painting commanded universal attention.
This masterpiece, titled Spring Goddess, comes from my idol, Rosa.
The unexpected introduction of my work, with Luciano claiming devoted admiration,
caught me off guard. While I absorbed this irony, Paige's voice sliced through the moment.
Alana, come here!
Without needing direction, the crowd stepped aside, leaving a clear path that led the camera straight to me. Forgive the interruption, Mr. Scott, but I wanted Alana to hear your thoughts firsthand. She should see what true art feels like. With so many watchful eyes, I stepped forward and stood next to Paige. Mr. Scott, meet my sister Alana. I'd love for you to mentor her too. Moments earlier, they had pretended it was their first encounter. Their performance was seamless. Everyone assumed Luciano saw real potential in Paige. With Paige's invitation placing me in the spotlight, I suddenly looked like the next chosen one. Deep down, I wasn't fooled. I could see the trap dressed up as kindness.
Is that get it supposed to show us how much you know about art?
The crowd erupted in laughter. Every eye turned to me like I was the punchline. I didn't blink. My hand went to my untamed wig, and my gaze shifted to the framed photograph of a world-famous artist hanging just behind him. So tell me, Mr. Scott, are you saying he doesn't get art either? Everyone turned to look. On the wall hung a portrait of a legendary artist from the previous century, his hair just as untamed, his face just as boldly painted as mine.
When a genius wears it, you call it expression. But when someone like me does the same thing, suddenly it's ignorance? Tell me, Mr. Scott, do you judge art or the artist?
The question hit Luciano like a slap. Color drained from his cheeks before rushing back. Noticing the live stream comments drifting from the show's focus, Paige swiftly stepped in.
Mr. Scott, could you please introduce us to Rosa's spring goddess?
Thankful for the lifeline, Luciano latched onto the new topic and dove into his monologue.
Rosa is celebrated globally for her brilliance in fashion and jewelry design, but long before she launched her brand, her talent first emerged through painting. Spring Goddess is one of her earliest works.
I tilted my head, a half smile on my lips, listening to Luciano's polished traduction of my creation.
Would you care to share your interpretation of Spring Goddess?
The question wasn't spontaneous. It had been scripted to give Paige in the spotlight.
I'll do my best, Mr. Scott. I only hope my reflections do justice to Rosa's brilliance. Actually, I'm also a devoted admirer of Rosa. It's an honor to share the same artistic idol with you, Mr. Scott. I've made countless pilgrimages to stand before Spring Goddess. Each visit unveils new revelations.
Rosa captures the very essence of beauty in her work.
Spring Goddess holds within it every shade of human feeling, drawing one into a world overflowing with emotion from the very first glance.
2 crystalline tears traced paths down her cheeks. The room erupted in applause.
Magnificent. Your interpretation soared. With such penetrating artistic sight, your success in the art world is inevitable. I have tremendous expectations for you.
Mr. Scott, you're far too generous.
I glanced at the screen and then at Luciano and Paige, thinking what a waste it was that neither had pursued acting careers.
You seem remarkably articulate. Since Paige requested I mentor you, I'll extend one opportunity. Why not share your interpretation of this globally acclaimed masterpiece?
At his suggestion, every eye in the room turned to me. Haley directed the camera to capture my reaction. This segment was orchestrated to broadcast my humiliation live. The elegant phrases Paige had delivered were crafted by art experts. I, with my elementary level education, couldn't possibly compete. The production team anticipated my spectacular failure. I pierced through their transparent scheme, my gaze sweeping coolly across their smug expressions. Do either of you actually understand oil painting? The assembled crowd exchanged bewildered glances.
Alana, what could you possibly mean by that? Mr. Scott is president of the Calligraphists and Painters Association. Paige's commentary just dazzled everyone.
Throughout the crowd, syphipates mingled with Luciano's devoted protégés, people who had tied their fortunes to his reputation. At my words, fury rippled through them, yet I stood unwavering, my gaze carrying the slightest edge of mocking. The crowd's accusations washed over me like water off glass. Luciano, accustomed to reverence bordering to worship, typically heard nothing but honeyed praise. Today's double offense transformed his face into a thundercloud.
Alana, since you claim I lack understanding of oil painting, you must consider yourself quite the virtuoso. Why not enlighten millions of viewers with your critique of Spring Goddess? Let's witness your supposed expertise.
Rage had stripped away his carefully cultivated veneer, leaving his true nature exposed.
You're not qualified to request my commentary.
You!
Luciano's face contorted with fury as his hand lashed out toward me. Paige, maintaining a thread of strategic awareness, swiftly intercepted his strike. My status as a plain Jane married into the Evans family afforded me the luxury of arrogance without significant repercussions. But Luciano striking me on camera would ignite a firestorm.
Please compose yourself, Mr. Scott. Our parents have indulged Alana since infancy. Her behavior stems from lifelong spoiling. I offer my deepest apologies on her behalf.
Paige's intervention pierced Luciano's rage-filled haze. Recognizing his near-catastrophic mistake, he released a contemptful snort before sweeping away. Paige shot me a venomous glare before hurrying after Luciano. Haley barked orders at the camera crew to follow.
The entire entourage abandoned me like debris in their wake. I glanced at my phone, scanning the vitriolic comments flooding the stream. A smile of satisfaction curved my lips.
Perfect. The higher they elevated Paige now, the more spectacular her fall would be tonight.
In the subsequent segment, Luciano guided the audience through a series of masterpieces. Paige orbited him like a dutiful satellite, seizing every opportunity to showcase her rehearsed lines. Several traps had been set specifically for me, but my ability to derail the program with mere words had made Paige too cautious to risk implementing them. I luxurious in my earned freedom, observing their performance from beyond the camera's predatory eye. The broadcast continued through midday. After the morning exploration of the museum came an elaborate luncheon with Luciano. Paige's status had inflated to nearly mythic proportions. The comment section unanimously crowned her the program's radiant star. Following lunch came the moment for participants to demonstrate their creative abilities. Luciano would provide instruction while everyone painted. He would then critique the works, with exceptional performers potentially earning his mentorship. To me, this segment represented the most transparent manipulation yet. Oil painting required years of disciplined study, not a single televised lesson. The conclusion had been scripted from the start. Paige would dazzle and became Luciano's protege. But contract-bound participants had surrendered their autonomy the moment they signed. We were nothing but corporate chess pieces. Entering the classroom, I deliberately selected my painting materials, casting a loaded glance toward Luciano and Paige. Today, I would dismantle the financial empire supporting Paige's charade.
My goodness! Miss Jones, your painting is absolutely stunning. You're an extraordinary talent.
One compliment led to another. Soon the room rippled with enthusiastic voices, each more eager than the last to sing Paige's praises. Haley gave a subtle nod. The crew zoomed in, capturing every elegant detail of Paige's artwork.
Everyone here holds deep experience in art. I'd be grateful for any advice you might share.
Miss Jones, someone with your talent hardly needs pointers from the rest of us. Only Mr. Scott could take you to the next level. Your technique shows strong foundation. With a little direction, you'll be able to make a real breakthrough and rise to an entirely new level.
Ever since I first picked up a paintbrush, my greatest dream has been to become your protege, Mr. Scott. Do you think I might be lucky enough to earn your favor today?
Paige, I've appreciated your work for a while now. I've been meaning to take you under my wing. I just wasn't sure you'd say yes.
Thank you so much for the chance, Mr. Scott. I'm honestly over the moon. You're a legend, and learning from you is more than I ever imagined.
Paige looked like a rising star. Even the other guests felt a twinge of jealousy. Raylan watched her from his painting station, a proud grin on his face.
But off to the side, my lips twisted into a smirk. I wasn't buying any of it. Earlier, I had assumed Luciano would give a live demonstration. Instead, he just gave speeches while using his students' work as props. Not once did he pick up a brush. The live chat buzzed with curiosity, wondering why Luciano wasn't painting. Eventually, someone offered an explanation.
Mr. Scott holds such a prestigious position that his paintings are rare treasures. A true master must uphold his standards.
That opinion caught on. No one questioned it again. But I could see straight through the act. Luciano hadn't painted a thing. Every word he taught was just a memorized script.
The president of the Calligraphers and Painters Association, a so-called master, couldn't even produce a proper painting. It was absurd.
Where did all his award-winning works come from? And who was the true artist working in the shadows?
When it came to devious tricks, Paige could hold her own right alongside Luciano.
The camera zoomed in on Paige's so-called masterpiece, but she hadn't laid a finger on that canvas. Her easel was angled to keep things hidden. She was putting on a show, not painting. The artwork had been created in advance by an anonymous artist. The technique was undeniable. The strokes matched the piece Luciano had provided for Paige to enter the competition. Same hand. What baffled me most was why someone so gifted would hide in anonymity, letting Luciano take credit. From the next station, Hayla noticed my distant look. She leaned in.
What's on your mind, Alana?
Haley knew I was in the producer's crosshairs, yet she never backed away. That simple kindness meant more to me than I could express.
Just thinking.
Hayla saw the world with a clear heart. I couldn't bring myself to ruin that innocence.
Alana, your work is incredible. I think it's even better than Paige's. Yours turned out wonderfully as well.
That wasn't just a polite reply. I don't hand out compliments I don't mean.
I just doodled. My family couldn't afford art lessons, so I learned from online tutorials.
The online tutorials offered only basics, but Haley's painting was truly impressive. She had developed her own voice. That kind of instinct was called talent. Haley had it, just like I did.
I'm nervous about what Mr. Scott will say. What if he laughs at it?
It's honestly excellent. You should enter it in the Starry Oil Painting competition tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned heads.
In my opinion, Hyla still needed proper training to refine her technique, and the prize money could help her financially.
I don't belong in a competition like that. I'm just a hobbyist.
I'd embarrass myself.
You won't know unless you try. And if you place, the prize money is no joke. First place gets 3 million. Even 10th place earns 100,000. If you land in the top 10, you're guaranteed at least that much. But this is the final round. Isn't it too late to enter? There's still a way. They reserve slots for special entries. If a piece is strong enough, it can go straight to the finals.
You really think I should submit it?
Absolutely. Worst case, you don't place. What do you have to lose?
You're right. If there's even a chance at that prize, I've got to try.
While we talked, Luciano had started critiquing the others' paintings. None came close to Paige's. He barely hid his disinterest, tossing out shallow praise. When it came to my piece, Luciano didn't bother hiding his disdain. He gave me a cold stare. The others clustered around, but the camera crew completely overlooked my painting. No close-up shots. A heavy silence fell the moment eyes landed on my painting. Beside Luciano, Paige's smile wavered. Even though they were both faking their expertise, they couldn't deny the obvious. My painting was stunning. Jealousy crept into Paige. How could someone like me, tucked away in a forgotten warehouse, paint this well? When she spotted the photographer about to zoom in, she discreetly gestured to Haley. Haley waved the photographer off. My work appeared only in a distant, unfocused frame. The people around Luciano had mixed expressions. Some knew good art and could see my skill. But with Luciano's disdain hanging in the air, no one dared speak up. Bitterness crept across Luciano's face. He had planned to tear me down, but my technique left him speechless.
Mr. Scott, go ahead and criticize her. I told the crew to avoid zooming in. The viewers won't see the details.
That reassurance settled Luciano's nerves. He tilted his head, eyes cold.
You sounded so confident earlier. I half expected brilliance. But after all that talk, this is what you came up with?
Predictably, no one questioned him. The silence grew thick, almost stifling. People waited for me to crumble, but I didn't flinch. I stayed composed, meeting Luciano's glare with a look that bordered on smug. That expression struck a nerve. Luciano snapped, his voice rising.
Who do you think you are, acting like you're better than everyone else?
The deeper his scowl etched into his face, the heavier the air grew. Tension tightened like a noose. Haley, standing close to me, couldn't stay quiet any longer.
Mr. Scott, Elena's painting really isn't bad. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good.
Haley, is it? Since you're such a connoisseur, why don't we take a look at your masterpiece?
With hesitation, Haley slowly turned her painting around.
It's complete trash.
Color rushed to Haley's cheeks as she looked down, shrinking under the weight of humiliation.
You can't even paint properly. And you think you're qualified to judge someone else? You're just fishing for attention.
Tears welled up in Haley's eyes as she stood there, humiliated and heartbroken. I stepped forward, voice steady and sharp.
Mr. Scott, I'll ask again. Do you actually understand oil painting, or are you just pretending to?
The question hit its mark. Deep down, it always made Luciano's pulse falter. But after years of wearing the mask of a master, he had perfected the art of appearing unfazed.
You're still young, so let me offer a bit of guidance. Focus on growing your skills and building real talent. Chasing shortcuts, like marrying into money to get ahead, is a cheap tactic. And frankly, it's disgraceful.
The insult was aimed straight at my marriage to Cole, and everyone knew it. I'd also suggest, Mr. Scott, that when someone piles up too many shady deeds, the truth tends to surface. And when it does, you could fall harder than someone who never had a name to begin with. No one expected me to confront Luciano head-on. Everyone was stunned. Rage darkened Luciano's features. Had we not been surrounded by cameras broadcasting to millions, his bodyguards would have taught me a lesson. After decades of unchallenged authority in the art world, someone had dared to question him publicly. His fury was palpable.
Alana, Mr. Scott speaks frankly because he wishes to guide you. You ought to receive his wisdom with gratitude. How dare you respond with such disrespect? Apologize to Mr. Scott immediately. A self-proclaimed master whose reputation exceeds his talent has no business offering advice to anyone.
You
Humiliated and seething, Luciano stormed out, his entourage scrambling to follow. Since the upcoming ceremony demanded her presence, Paige shot me a venomous glance before hurrying after Luciano. The camera crew trailed behind, leaving Haley and me alone in the sudden quiet.
Without the oppressive scrutiny of cameras, Haley's shoulders relaxed.
Alana, we've completely alienated Mr. Scott. Do you think he'll retaliate? He strikes me as someone who nurses grudges.
Don't fret. His moment in the spotlight is fleeting. By tomorrow, he'll be ostracized, powerless to harm either of us.